But rarely, if ever, are people with serious trauma encouraged to get as far away from the feeling of, at least not in the clinical setting. This has a lot of implications for things like trigger warnings. Colleagues of mine in psychiatry, I've asked them directly, what do you think of trigger warnings? And they said, there's some logic to it on the surface, but if you really think about true trauma, and we can define trauma. Dr. Paul Conti was on my podcast, is amazing trauma psychiatrist. He said trauma is an experience, is not just a bad experience. Trauma is an experience that changes your nervous system such that it behaves differently in the future, in a way that's maladaptive for you. So if you look at all the trauma treatments, they're all about learning to talk about the trauma, even experiencing some of the same feelings. So things like trigger warnings and all these things that buffer us against feeling our true feelings do nothing but prolong the trauma and prolong and exacerbate fear.
You had David Goggins in the lab to study him for fear. What did you learn from looking at that guy?
Yeah, David's great. I always chuckle with David because, the one thing about David is what you see on social media is actually what you get when you interact with David. We worked long hours one day and everyone was ready to tap out.